Good morning, cruises. I'm going to try recording outside today. I can hear police sirens in the background, so you guys might be able to hear police sirens in the background too. We will see. So, a couple little adventures in the last couple of days. Up, seagulls flying overhead. I don't know where they come from, but they're always here. So, like I was saying, a couple little adventures in the last little bit. So last week, a friend came down from Leeds and she wanted to see The Price. It's a play by Arthur Miller. So we went downtown, we saw The Price by Arthur Miller. It's set in the 1950s in New York City, so it was four British actors doing their best 1950s New York like accents, including Brendan Coyle from Downton Abbey, and David Suchet, who you may know as Hercule Poirot from the long runner PBS series. He actually was playing like an 89-year-old Eastern European Jewish furniture dealer. So very quintessential 1950s Jewish stereotypical accent and way of speaking. Kind of yeah, it was a great play. It was the first half was a little bit of serious, but mostly laughs. It was really funny. Then the second act comes in and just kills you. It's serious and it's heartfelt and it's heartbreaking and it's families and it's yeah. Anyway, so we saw that. Instead of doing rush tickets like I've done for almost everything else that I've done, we my friend from Leeds, she bought tickets in advance. And cheap seats in advance means you are way up at the very, very top of the theater. So as you might have seen in the Instagram post, I had some really good shots of the ceiling because I was really up close next to it. Interesting fact, the Brits call those what we would refer to as like nosebleed seats, right? Or back when at the Caps played at the Verizon Center, we called it the top of the phone box. They call them the gods because that's where you are. You're as high as the gods in Olympus. So it was a good show. Last night I went to go see the London Philharmonic with the conductor Vladimir Jurowski. Jen said that I really needed to check the London Phil out. So London Philharmonic Orchestra, amazing. There's at least like 5 permanent orchestras that play in London. I hope to see all of them at some point, as well as anybody passing through. But anyway, so the London Philharmonic was playing. They did a Brahms piano concerto, and the pianist was a fantastic talent. But piano concertos are not my jam. 4 movements. Really long. Yeah. Second half of the performance, Richard Strauss Till Jugendspiegel, which I love and has an amazing horn call in it that I think I've heard Jen play 1,000,000 times since I've known her for more than 20 years. It's just a really, really famous Strauss horn call. And what was the last piece? Oh, Elgar's Falstaff, which was long, and I'm going to blame the seats on that one. So I had great seats. I chose to sit in the choir. So if you think of, the conductor and he's, there's the orchestra back there. Normally you sit back here behind them, expensive seats, mid-range seats, really cheap seats. There was extraordinarily cheap seats out here, like guy, orchestra, way out here in the choir. So I was seated in the choir, and it was amazing because I could actually see the facial expressions on the conductor, and I would love to do that again. But those seats are terrible, and I need like a pillow to sit on because, they're not meant for paying customers. They're meant for the choir, who mostly stands, so you're not sitting on those crappy little bench seats with no padding on them. But good show all around, really easy to get to. You take the tube down to basically just down to the Thames and then quick walk. But the most interesting thing I did was actually yesterday during the day. I went to Brockwell Park. It's down in Brixton, and went to go visit a friend in Brixton. We hung out. We had some food. We talked movies and games and whatnot. And then he was like, "Hey, let's go for a walk." So we walked around the park. And first of all, Brockwell Park is famous historic park. They do a lot of live performances there. London Books, they close the park down and people pay to get in, and they do live music and festivals and whatnot there. But it's smaller than Regent's Park, which is smaller than Hyde Park, which are the two other parks that I've been to so far. And but instead of large flat spaces where people play soccer and cricket and whatnot, it's more like rolling hills and just meadows and people to hang out on and whatnot. Adele used to live in the area. She's written a song about it. And yeah, so it's it's a lovely park, and there's a hall, an old building kind of in the middle of it on a tall point at the top of the hill. It's called Brockwell Manor, and so it's really interesting in London. It's the same is true of New York and other major cities. DC's a little different because DC didn't spread, so but what you would call the Greater Washington D.C. area falls under the same kind of thing. So there's parts of London that right now in 2019 are effectively central London. I mean, Brixton is maybe a 15-20 minute tube ride from anywhere in the heart of London, and or less. And yet, at the time that this was built, this park became a park in like the 1890s. Brockwell Hall was the county estate of a rich merchant, because it was on the other side of the river and far enough away. It was like out in the it was his estate. It wasn't where he lived in town. It was his county estate. So they he was looking to sell it. A member of parliament, an MP named Thomas Lynn Bristow, pushed really hard, like, we're going to buy this and the land around it, and we're going to turn it into a public park. This is what we're going to do. He put up his own money. He wanted this to happen so badly. He wanted to give this park to London, to the people, and it happened. The park got constructed around the hall, and everything was good to go. And on opening day, on the opening ceremonial day, on the steps of Brockwell Manor, he had a heart attack and died. So there's a bust of him, and they're obviously memorialized and everything. But this happened back in the 1890s. It's really interesting to have a city history there, and to be able to go and visit the various parts of the city that once long ago were far out extensions of the city, and now are right in the heart of one of the most densely populated areas in London. It's really interesting. So that's what I've been up to lately. Saw Avengers Endgame twice. Went to go see a midnight showing Thursday at midnight, and then went back again with friends so that we could talk about it afterwards on Friday. So did that as well, but no spoilers here. So talk to y'all about that later. Bye.